the flame on max. I'ma keep it going till there ain't none left. Gonna keep the flame on max. I'ma keep it going till there ain't none left. Going till there ain't none. Keep the flame on. Gotta keep the flame on. Gotta keep it, gotta keep it, gotta keep the flame on.
Hello and welcome to the Vertu Motors Arena in Newcastle. We have the third of 4 BBL Play-Off Quarter-Finals here as the Newcastle Eagles take on the Sheffield Sharks. Daniel Routledge alongside the former Newcastle Eagles assistant coach Dave Forrester. And Dave, this is the most intriguing matchup almost every year, 4 against 5. You never quite know which way this one goes.
Yeah, and these teams have been back at each other this year. They've played each other 5 times in competitive basketball, and they played each other in the pre-season as well. Started off with Newcastle being effective, and then Sheffield came and won the last 2 games. So it's a really interesting matchup. It's, I think, unlikely that it will be won today.
Well, indeed, it is the first of 2 legs, of course, and Sheffield have already won in this building a couple of times against the Newcastle Eagles, so some positive memories for them from their last visits here.
Yeah, they played very well in both those games, particularly in the second half. They were able to score at will in the second half. They've also played, I think they've played a Sky game here against Cheshire, and they've played a pre-season game here, so they're perfectly comfortable in this environment, in this arena. And you know, I just expect a really competitive, athletic basketball game.
Well, earlier on I spoke to both the coaches to see how they were feeling ahead of this game. Well, Ian, playoffs getting underway for you guys today. What's the feeling in the camp? How are you ahead of this game?
I think it's one of optimism and opportunity. It's almost a fresh start with the season. We really had a big focus on our last 10 games being a mini-season in itself, and now things start all over again.
And of course, Sheffield have beaten you on this court a couple of times already. Justin Gordon got injured in the first, didn't play in the second. It feels like a long time ago. Is there anything from that game that you can improve on?
I think there's many things we could improve upon from that particular game, but it's a long time ago. There's a lot of water has passed under the bridge since then. You know, we've beaten them 3 times. You know, so it doesn't really carry over. We've played so many games since then in a compact season. I think it's about who executes on the day.
And looking at what they do, what are the things that you've got written on the board, the things that concern you the most?
Well, I'll not tell you all of them. I think that's your job to figure that one out. But I think our tempo, playing at our pace, but also with poise, in particular in these 2-legged games, where the last couple of minutes of every quarter is extremely important. So we want to keep the tempo high. That's no secret for us. They'll want to run their half-court offense, plenty ball reversal, and it's about us being disruptive defensively.
Good luck in the game.
Thank you very much, Dan.
Cheers. Well, Atiba, it's been a long season for all the teams. What sort of shape are your side going into these playoffs?
We're in good shape. You know, I think physically we're healthy and mentally we're in a good place.
And you look at the other end of the floor, a Newcastle team you've seen a lot of this season, and of course you've won in this building a couple of times as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Very talented team. You know, they finished top 4 on the table for a reason, and you know, we've had some success, but you know, it's never a night off. Definitely, it's going to be a tough game.
What are the important things that you have to do well to beat this Eagles team?
We have to try to control the tempo of the game. You know, they're really, really explosive transition team. Fletcher plays really well in the open court, so we got to kind of keep them more in the half court and defensively get some stops. And
you've been around the league a long time. These aggregate games are a little bit different. You have to attack it in a slightly different way.
Yeah, you know, it's a really 8-quarter game. So after tonight, we can't get too up or down no matter what the outcome is. And we've got to make sure we just play a solid game and put ourselves in a good position for the second one.
Well, good luck in the game, Atiba.
Thank you.
Well, 2 teams that have seen a lot of each other this year, 2 teams that have seen a lot of each other over the years in the playoffs. This is a very familiar playoff matchup, as you will know all too well.
Yeah, I think towards the end of the season, you see, everybody's been driving around the country forever, and the concept of playing in Sheffield is generally preferable if you're from Newcastle to the concept of playing in Plymouth. So I think Sheffield, not so much for Sheffield because they're a little bit more central. So I'm not sure if we've ever gerrymandered this matchup deliberately, but no one was ever particularly disappointed when it came about.
Well, let's get a look at the 2 team lineups. for tonight's game, starting with Newcastle Eagles, who on a neutral court are nominally the home team. And of course, when we talk about the Eagles, we invariably get to Ramon Fletcher pretty quickly, but they also have Mr. 26, Darius Defoe, who knows his way around a competition or two.
Yeah, well, Darius is the defensive anchor and probably the heart and soul of the team and the group. He's 36, he's been in the league for 17 years, and he's just won and won and won and won. But Ramon's had a remarkable year. He's leading the league in points and assists, which is the first time it's been done in almost forever, and he's done it remarkably efficiently as well, shooting 56% from 2, 39% from 3 and 77% from the line.
Well, let's take a look now at the Sheffield Sharks lineup, and always intriguing when you watch the Sharks because it can come from different players. They've got some streaky scorers out there.
They have, and they're all guys who will attack and will attack quickly, which is, you know, the guard lineup of Helmsley, Rotino and with Lillard, with Lewis coming off the bench. Each one of those guys can go for 30, and Helmsley in particular, he's kind of come in a little bit later on in the season when Atiba realised what he needed in this league, and he's also putting up remarkable numbers with, you know, 50% from 2, 48% from 3. You know, really efficient scorer. So it'll be an interesting battle between. It won't be a battle between Fletcher and Helmsley, but how each of those guys is able to impact the game may well tell us where this game is going.
Well, as you say, I think we'll need all, if not many, of the 80 minutes available over the next few days to separate these two teams, given how well they know each other. It's nice to see that down. We've got Darius Defoe and Mike Tuck, two guys who probably last got off the ground in 2017, who are jumping up. Well, the two teams will take the knee ahead of tip-off, as we have seen all season, part of the ongoing.
I think there's about 50 times that Defoe and Tuck have gone against each other, and Defoe's been for Newcastle and Tuck's been for Sheffield. Never been any other teams involved. So it's always a really entertaining battle. They know each other backwards.
And the head-to-head is definitely in favour of Darius over those years as well. As the Eagles get us underway, and it's Cortez Edwards who has the first possession for Newcastle. Fletcher to Defoe, to the basket for 2, and how many times over the years has Defoe scored on the opening play?
Yeah, not normally off the high screen roll, we normally throw it to him in the post, but that was a nice move on the high screen roll by Fletcher. And he's pressurising Helmsley now.
Helmsley gets into the paint, but back out it comes to Nichols with 5 on the shot clock. Cut him to the basket is Lillard for 2.
It's a great cut by Lillard. I think it may have been Sayers turned his head, but certainly someone turned their head for Newcastle. Must see the man in the ball.
Here's Fletcher from behind the arc for 3, knocks it down.
Yeah, Eagles are looking sharp offensively at the moment, which is generally, as I say, set by the tempo that Fletcher is at, and defensively he's really into this basketball game.
Nichols gets it to Lillard. Again late in the shot clock for the Sharks. Down to Nichols, underneath, scoops it in.
That's a great finish. They've probably overpressured a little bit at the top there with the double team, and Kipper Nichols made a great finish using the rim to protect the basketball.
Here's Sayers. Now they go down to the low block, and Defoe backing down Tuck. Tuck just caught him on the arm there. It's going to be 2 shots.
I don't think Mike Tuck agrees with that call. And Darius did fade away a little bit.
Let's have another look back at it.
Maybe.
There was a light one on the elbow.
Interesting, neither team has a stop yet.
Defoe from the line.
The interesting subtext is that, you know, both teams are starting the veteran British forwards, and they've got American centres to come off the bench. Yeah. And Maxwell and Coke, who will match up against each other, no doubt.
Here's Rotino. Pass deflected, but it still gets all the way across to Lillard.
A bit of a zone here, Newcastle. 2-3 zone.
Well, they're late in the shot clock for the third time in a row here. Nichols has to fire it up, and there is the first stop of the game. Fletcher along the baseline. Up top to Gordon. Driving hard, and he's bumped and will shoot two.
Yeah, it was good ball reverse. It all starts with, as that much does for Newcastle, it all starts with Fletcher's penetration and finding a guy in the perimeter if he can't get to the rim. And then Gordon drew the bump off Nichols. He's an athletic guy at the top of the key. He's tough to stop. Key for Newcastle is that the ball doesn't get sticky and doesn't stay in somebody's hands. You have to keep the basketball moving to move Sheffield around, because Sheffield's help defence is generally exceptional.
Gordon makes both from the line. 8-4 the Eagles lead here after a couple of minutes.
Little trap, nearly forced the turnover.
Up to Hemsley. Again, they're down to the last couple of seconds. Nichols going to work, sells a couple of fakes, and he knocks it down. The basket will count. A foul is called. Defoe has his hand up.
Yeah, Eagles again went to a zone, which is kind of discombobulating Sheffield a little bit. But what happened there was Gordon had Nichols in a trap, but he left to go back to Lillard, which gave Nichols the opportunity late in the shot clock to get that shot. And I think if he had his way again, he would probably been better off staying and trapping him hard with 3 or 4 seconds left on the shot clock.
There's obviously something wrong with... Oh, he couldn't see the free throw line, I think.
That's good, ref. You don't want to wave off a foul shot when there's no line to be seen.
Oh, he's missed the shot after all of that. Here's Fletcher. Edwards up in the air, needed some help. Found it in Defoe. Running hard to the hole, Darius Defoe.
Yeah, hard right hand late by Darius again. You know, he's strong to his right hand, always has been.
He's tough.
Edwards on Hemsley now. Switch that up.
Lillard with a bit of room for the three-point shot, and he hits it.
Again, a nice down screen, and Lillard came off on it. Sayers didn't get close enough to him, and he made them pay.
Fletcher. That's a tough shot, made look easy.
He's ready to play, I think. That's a really, really tough shot. 2 feet inside the three-point line off the dribble.
Nichols has some room. He misses the three. Defoe with a rebound.
Still a good look for Sheffield, though. Mike Tuck set a great screen at the top there, and the Eagles really can't give that up.
Nice drive to the basket. Just a change of pace there from Gordon.
Gordon is probably the most purely explosive guy in the league at the moment. Not necessarily off a long run, but off kind of 2 steps.
Lillard almost turned that ball over there. In the end, he was a bit fortunate. It came off Edwards. Hemsley driving hard, finishing well.
That's the opposite of Fletcher. That's a great move by Hemsley. You know, once he gets his shoulder past and he gets his body into the defender, he's a great finisher off 1 foot.
Fletcher flips it back to Defoe from the elbow. That's normally his spot.
It's a good look for Newcastle. Both teams are really getting the shots that they'd be happy getting at the moment.
Nichols driving in, and he is fouled by Gordon, will shoot 2.
Yeah, Nichols being aggressive, which I think is important for Sheffield. You know, they have to get him going early. He's a big player for them. A little bit of the body there for Gordon. Hand on his shoulder, so it's a good call.
Well, substitutions as Maxwell comes in, but he comes in for Gordon. Cook comes in for Tuck.
Yeah, it gives Defoe a tough matchup with Nichols. So it'll be interesting to see if Newcastle now go down low to get the ball into Defoe in the post to see if he can get Nichols in foul trouble. Because otherwise it's going to be a difficult matchup at the other end for Defoe with Nichols out on the three-point line.
Fluger also entering the game for the first time for Newcastle. Nichols connects from the free throw line. 1 point game here. Offense is on top here in the early stages.
Yeah.
Fluger to Defoe, good first step, gets all the way to the rim for 2.
Yeah, Darius is really aggressive, attacking the rim at the moment. That's 3 solid drives to the rim. Yes. 7 early points. Now the switch now, and Hemsley. Oh, good hands by Fletcher to bail Eagles out then on a pretty dodgy switch.
Here's Sayers to Maxwell, and he blows it from close range.
Now we got Defoe on Hemsley, so they're not matching up particularly well in transition. You know, Hemsley's got to look to go at that. Nichols on Fletcher, but
Fletcher steals it away. He's off and running. Nichols chasing him back and knocking it out of bounds for an Eagles possession.
yeah, they didn't really maximise the advantage they had there in transition, Sheffield. You've got to if you're Nichols on Defoe, with Fletcher on, you've got to run away and get down in the block and take him away. And if you're Hemsley,
well, the Eagles thought it was a foul, and
yeah.
Fletcher's only just realised the referee pointed out of bounds. He heard the whistle, he assumed it was a foul call, but it wasn't.
I think it might have been a foul call. Looking back on the replay, I think the ref might have missed that one.
It's the ball from the end. Inbound to Sayers, who's got room to shoot. And Gordon with the rebound. Fluger's going to fire up the 3. A good challenge from Lillard.
Shooting percentage has not been high in the quarterfinals so far.
Martino sort of dropped it. Cook did well to recover that. Takes the foul, and he will shoot 2.
Yeah, Maxwell's got to stay down a little bit. Yeah.
You may have noticed in the background there, Rob Marsden into the game, sporting a black eye. Caught a rogue elbow even in practice from this man at the free throw line, we're told.
He has certainly caught it good by the looks of it. I can see it from here.
Didn't play on Friday night as a result, but is able to go here in the playoffs.
Tough matchup for him with Justin Gordon, because Rob Marsden generally is a solid ground-bound defender, and Justin Gordon likes to fly, so we'll see if he's able to get him off the dribble.
Fletcher attacks himself all the way to the rim.
That move is, if there is a trademark move in the BBL, I think that is it. The simplicity with which he does that every time.
There's Marsden. Hemsley frees himself. It's the 3.
You can't give him that space. Edwards has to be closer to him there. Also, you'd like to see Gordon pressurising Marsden a little bit more on the end, at the top there. It was a little bit too easy for Sheffield, that.
Fluger. Gordon with the step back, and he hits.
Yeah, that's a matchup that Marsden has difficulty, because Marsden can't come out to Gordon, he'll go past him. So Gordon recognising that and stepping back and shooting an 18-foot jump shot. So again, Gordon not kind of pressurising Marsden the way he could do. Maxwell standing off Cook.
5 on the shot clock for the Sharks. Hemsley, that's a tough one.
That's good defence by Fluger, he got right up into him.
Fletcher lobs it up to Maxwell, who jams it off the rim. Martino going hard and avoiding the block, but doesn't get the roll.
Good defence at the rim by Newcastle. Good drive by Retino, though. He's been quiet so far, so he's looking to get in the game.
Spin from Fletcher. It doesn't drop.
You have to make sure he doesn't get frustrated now. It's a couple of times he's disappointed with himself for missing. There's plenty of time to go in these 2 legs.
Here's Marsden. Trying to find some room. Retino in the corner for 3.
Newcastle got lucky there. Fletcher a little bit tired. He lost Retino as he backed up behind him. That's a shot Sheffield will be happy with.
Lob to Maxwell again, and he does the right thing there, pulling it in. Some guys would go up for that, but he made sure he got the points.
Yeah, he has that athleticism and that size and the ability to do that. It was a nice high-low there, nice look by Gordon, and now Pfluger's guarding Helmsley. Pfluger may be one of Newcastle's best perimeter defenders.
Here's Cook into Hemsley, getting to the basket.
They're getting beat there because the bigs are standing off just a little bit too much, giving the cutting lanes.
Fletcher inside to Maxwell. Looking to back down Marsden. Shovels it off to Gordon, and there's a foul in there somewhere.
Yeah, it was good help by Sheffield. You see, they saw that coming and they packed the paint. There was 4 Sheffield players in there. But Gordon was just a little bit too quick on the drive, and you see Helmsley there. He's not in legal guarding position when the contact is made. You'd like to see, from Newcastle's perspective, mind, you would prefer to see...
Pfluger seems to have done something there to his shoulder as he's gone off. Lasker into the game.
Doesn't look good.
No, it doesn't. Lasker was coming in anyway, but... Here's Gordon. Who loses the handle.
Yeah, again, Sheffield very good at collapsing on the basketball from that situation.
Here's Lewis. Back to Cook. Shot clock getting low here. Marsden needs to get it away. Going to work, got it off just in time. Cook trying to keep it alive, but Gordon has it.
Great rebound by Gordon there. Good defense by him. It's a tough matchup for Marsden that. He has to spin a couple of times to get his shot off, and then Maxwell comes over as well.
Well, Sheffield Newcastle trying to take some time out of this clock. Last few seconds of the first quarter. Edwards driving in a little bit too easy, but he doesn't get that to go. Still time for the Sharks here. Lillard out to Lewis. Fires up the 2 and off the mark. And well, it was a free-flowing first 7 or 8 minutes. Points dried up a little bit in the last couple of minutes of that quarter, but offense is definitely winning the battle early on. It's 22-20 here at the end of the first quarter.
Absolutely. I think, to be honest, both teams will be slightly disappointed with their defense. You know, the main guys, so Helmsley's got his shots, Fletcher's got his shots, Gordon's got his shots. From Newcastle's perspective, you know, Edwards needs to get into this basketball game. I think that was his first shot attempt after around 9.5 minutes, so he needs to empower himself and get into the game. From Sheffield's perspective, Retino hasn't really got going yet. He's had one open look from the corner, and it can be as simple as, you know, which guys get into their rhythm the quickest, because it's not going to be, you know, Defoe and Fletcher, and it's not going to be Helmsley and Coke that determine who wins this tie. It's going to be the extra guys. It's going to be whether Sayers can make shots. It's going to be whether Lillard can knock down threes, whether Marsden can be effective.
Well, we're on day 4 of May Madness in British basketball. We had the women's quarterfinals over the weekend. Plenty of drama there, and the men have taken center stage here over the last couple of days, and everything moves down to Worcester from tomorrow. We've got the second legs of the 2 games that were played yesterday. Leicester with a massive lead going up against Bristol, and also London with a 7-point advantage against Cheshire. And then these teams and Plymouth and Worcester, who play later tonight, will play 2 days from now, and then we'll finish it all off for this week on Friday with the semi-finals of the WBBL. All the games at 5 and 7:30. Make sure you're there every night.
You look at this, Newcastle have 7 assists to 1 turnover, Sheffield have 6 assists to 2 turnovers. You know, your offenses are running what they want at the moment, and It will be interesting to see which team is able to disrupt first, because that might be the separation point in this game. Newcastle have their two disruptors, which are Lasker and Defoe on the court now, so see what impact they can have.
Here's routine. Cook hands it off to Lewis. Again, low on the shot clock here, Sheffield. Maxwell denies Cook.
Good defense by Maxwell. It's interesting that Newcastle are playing right off Marsden and Cook, and that's making it very crowded in the paint. It's going to be difficult for Sheffield to create shots with this lineup on, I think, if Newcastle are going to play that way.
There's Maxwell spinning along the baseline. Offensive foul is the call.
He called a hook. You'd just like Evan Maxwell just to go 2 dribbles to the middle, you know, and shoot his little jump. He has a size advantage. He doesn't need to make the extra move in the spin and under the rim. It just creates a possibility of calls against him.
Well, it's his second foul, and he will sit down.
Denikin coming in now, so we'll see how he can defend. If he can defend the middle the same way. Defoe playing right off Marsden,
10 feet away from him. Here's Lewis.
Up on the screen.
Marsden.
You see, and then Denikin has to get that rebound, but Newcastle will live for that shot. What they can't live for is the offensive rebound. You know, that shot, because routine will get you 3 off an offensive rebound. So Defoe played it right, but Denikin just has to clear that rebound.
Edwards.
Newcastle having the same problem down here with Defoe and Denikin. There's no real spacing, so
Edwards steps back for 3. Gets the offensive rebound though. Edwards drives in. Second time round, Marsden's able to get his hands on it.
Driving in the trees there. There's no spacing at all. No space for him to get a shoulder pass. Good defense from Sheffield.
Lewis driving in.
And I think Lasker's expecting Denikin to be over there on that drive, because he slowed him down enough for Denikin to get there. Nice drive by Nick Lewis, though. Sheffield just looking for a bit of separation now. I think we'll be seeing Fletcher back in the game quite soon.
There's Defoe driving hard and getting the soft bounce.
He's having his way at the moment with that hard drive to his right hand. Newcastle probably a little bit short of offensive creativity in this lineup. They need that from Defoe.
He's up to 9. Lewis throws it away. Sayers. Defoe on the offensive glass is able to put it back.
It's a great job by Defoe again. There are certain players who, just show up when it matters. It's fundamental. Darius Defoe has 11 points in 7 minutes in this game, and he's got them off his own bat. He's not been spoon-fed them. That's a shot that probably Denikin should make. And Defoe has worked himself to get down the court. He tipped to himself, outworks Cook, and gets a layup.
Yeah, he's got himself in a good position, and there was only one outcome once he grabs that rebound there. And as you say, Darius, he doesn't score big numbers at the age that he is now, but he seems to contribute in whatever way his team requires him to. We saw him here a few weeks ago against Leicester, where he was doing the defensive yeoman work that they needed to get themselves back into that game and eventually winning that game. Here he's taking the offensive load, leading his team with 11.
11 in 8 minutes, 5 of 6 shooting. And there are certain times where in games some games are more equal than others, and some games matter more than others. And something like this, he knows that he needs to set a tempo for his team, to show the other guys who haven't been around as long and don't know the same way, what needs to be done to win playoff games.
Well, just the 1 point between them. Sheffield ball from the end.
Be Interesting to see if Newcastle maybe go back to his zone a little bit off the inbounds. Kipper Nichols back in the game, so Defoe has to guard him, which is a bit harder for him than guarding Cook, because he has to be a bit more mobile.
Here's Nichols. Gets it to Lewis. Hemsley.
Yeah, Sayers can't trail him round off that screen. He has to find a way of getting to his body and not letting him do that, because that's Hemsley, exactly what Hemsley wants to do. It's too comfortable for him. He's a gifted scorer.
Fletcher to Edwards. Oh, steps on underneath and off the glass.
That's a serious move by Cortez Edwards, and he's probably the one piece that Newcastle need to get going in this game. Again, a very, very gifted offensive player.
Hemsley's sneaking back door. Will that count? No, it won't. Foul's on the floor.
I think the foul was before he caught the ball. Fletcher just got caught a little bit over pressurising. So that's the foul there. And once he's caught the ball, there's no foul, so there's no basket.
Well, just to update you, Rex Pfluger is still with the physio over on the bench. Still going through.
He's grimacing a lot.
It looks, it doesn't look good, put it that way. Hemsley drives in off the ground.
That's a serious move as well. Fletcher's sending him baseline, hoping that the help is going to be there, and the help is Cortez Edwards, who's only 6'2", and Hemsley can just go straight over him. That's a basket. Oh no.
Gordon has to kick it back out. Fletcher will take the three, and he will make it.
Yeah, when Ramon is making his three-point shot, he becomes a tough guy to guard. But both these teams at the moment are too tough to guard.
Well, 60 points on the board in 14 minutes.
Coke playing off Coke again.
Oh, well, is that? Yeah, it's a Newcastle ball.
And that comes because Defoe, they can't cut to the paint because Defoe's in the paint and Coke isn't looking to shoot the ball. So maybe Coke has to take one dribble to the foul line and shoot his jump shot to make Defoe play him honestly. Or alternatively, Mike Tuck comes in and Mike Tuck will shoot that ball.
He will. You won't sag that far off Mike Tuck.
Yeah, so I'm sure that's exactly what Atiba's thinking. That's what Atiba saw.
Fletcher trying to get it to Defoe, but it's off the leg of Tuck and out of bounds.
I'm not sure what Defoe's complaining about there. The ball came off his leg. I don't know if he thought he was held or something. Not very happy about something.
No. Into Gordon. Runs into trouble, but still able to score.
No idea how he made that shot. Left-handed, weak hand, off balance, very athletic. I think Hemsley likes this matchup with Sayers. I think this is going up.
Looking to attack, he kicks it out to Lewis instead, and that one's short, but Tuck with the rebound.
Great job by Mike Tuck there, getting the rebound he had no right to get.
He's putting it on the floor. Gets a foul from Defoe.
Yeah, it's not a smart foul from Darius, because he took the challenge from Mike Tuck. He could have been called for the first one when he reached there. Didn't get called for that one. Reaches down on the ball. He doesn't need to shoot. Doesn't need to foul him there. Mike Tuck knows that he's done a good thing for his team because Defoe's now sitting down with 2 fouls.
Yeah, the way Darius has played these open 15 minutes, the best way to deal with him is to put him on the bench.
Absolutely. Yeah. As much as, it's a mental game. These playoffs are a mental game as much as a physical game, and you have to know what you need to do to stay on the court to be most effective for your team.
Tuck makes them both from the line. 2-point game here, midway through the second period.
That's a tough pass.
Yeah. He's deflected into the back.
I think Lewis knocked it back. I don't think Newcastle ever had possession of it in the front court, which is what matters.
Fletcher under pressure.
Ridiculous shot by Fletcher. A serious bit of defense by Nicholas Lewis. Very, I'm not sure how you defend that.
nicely. Lewis has room. I don't think he quite realised it when he caught the ball. Nichols is going to take the three.
It's a shot. You can't stand there and watch Nichols shoot that. That's a good job by Sheffield, moving the ball to the open man. Disappointing defence from Newcastle.
Gordon to the spin. Gets it to Fletcher. Oh, it's gone in!
That's incredible. That's just luck. I'm sorry. The ball's actually come out of his hands. He's not actually shot that. It's been slapped on the arm. It's gone up in the air. I'm not even sure if he was slapped on the arm, but I'm not sure how it went in. Yeah, it's Retino, I think, as he went past, has just got him on the arm.
Well, it's a three-point play. And that's all that matters in the book, and it's a 4-point lead.
2-2-1 press by Newcastle.
And they get it over the half.
Interestingly, Nick Lewis's hand in the basketball, and Hemsley's now playing off the ball. So they've got a lot of shooters on the court now, Sheffield. They've got 5 shooters on the court, and they're going to find one of them right in the corner against the zone. And the Eagles got a bit lucky there.
Here comes Fletcher, lob forward to Gordon. Little shake in the low post and dropped in off the glass.
He seems to play 2 feet off the ground at times, where he's constantly hovering in mid-air. So 6-point game now, so a little bit of separation to Newcastle. So can they get a couple of stops to change the thing?
Here's Nichols. Himself in a bit of an awkward spot. Tuck fakes it, drives in, floats one in.
Maxwell has to know that when you close Tuck out, you can't close him out to his left hand. You have to close him out to his right hand. And that's where Tuck has the benefit of getting Defoe out of the game, because Defoe would not let him make that move. They know each other too well.
Maxwell back out to Gordon for 3 is good.
So Gordon has now really stepped up as well. So Newcastle's big 3 of Fletcher, Gordon and Edwards have kind of taken the mantle from Defoe, and they're making some shots offensively.
Well, timeout called here by the Sheffield Sharks. The Tiber Lions side is 7 points behind, 3 minutes from half-time.
Yeah, it's a pretty critical point. I mean, it's maybe not so much with these two teams, because they know each other so well, that if it's a 12-point game at half-time, then you know there's going to be another twist in it. Sheffield have been down 12 here in this building twice this season and come out and won by 10 in the second half, so it's only a quarter time at half-time. But even so, Sheffield are kind of struggling to deal with Gordon's athleticism, and when he's making threes as well, it's tough. So, for the Eagles, Fletcher has 12 points, Gordon has 13 points, and Defoe has 11 points. And apart from that, they got 5 from Edwards and 2 from Maxwell, and nothing from anybody else. And the worrying thing for Sheffield is that those points with Defoe, Gordon and Fletcher, they're combined 15 of 17 from the field. So somebody's got to step up and stop one of those guys.
Well, it's not an unusual position for the Sharks to be in. We've watched a lot of them this season. They are a team that tend to come play from behind. Yeah,
what I'll say is unusual is that it's unusual that they're so ineffective defensively in taking away the threats of the opposition. Maybe because it's the playoffs and the Newcastle guys are playing at a slightly elevated level as a result. But normally you'd expect the game to be 33-26, not 43-36. So that is a slightly different tempo.
Here comes Hemsley now for the Sharks out of their timeout. Coutinho.
Got the 5 shooters on the court.
Lillard. He drives in, kicks out to the corner, and Nichols. Shot is off the mark. Tuck trying to keep it alive, but Maxwell wins that battle.
It's a good rebound there by. It's a better closeout as well by Newcastle.
Fletcher, top of the key, a little bit short, but Gordon trying to keep it alive, and it's going to be a foul on Tuck.
Gordon's athleticism, the one piece that was missing in the 2 losses that Newcastle had against Sheffield here, Sheffield's 2 wins, was Justin Gordon. He wasn't in the court for most of those 2 games. And you see Mike Tuck there just get caught with his hand in there. His athleticism is changing the basketball game at the moment.
Tuck's second foul. He sits down with 2:18 to go in the first half. Gordon drives in. Foul is on the floor, says the official.
Ooh, I have to say, I'm not sure it was a foul because Gordon seemed to create some of the contact, but I think if it was a foul, I thought it was after he picked the ball up. Let's have a look at this here. So that's the foul after he picked the ball up. So I'm not sure it's an offense, not sure it's a foul by Antoine Lillard, but it shouldn't be a sideline possession.
Lillard.
He caught one to the chin, so he's fouled him with his chin, which is a bit harsh.
Campbell coming in for him. That was his second foul as well. Edwards, mid-range, is good.
And that's important because they were denying Fletcher, and then Fletcher's expecting Edwards to make a play there if they're going to deny him to that degree. And credit to Cortez Edwards, he stepped up and did that. Good switches on the perimeter for Newcastle. Coke back in the game for Sheffield.
Here's Lillard. Nichols, sorry.
That's a tough shot by Kevin Nichols. They needed that shot. Kevin Nichols is the X factor for Sheffield because he's the one guy who you can give the ball to and you can go and get a bucket which isn't necessarily within the scheme of their offense. So that's just a post-up. That's not in their offense. That's just Kevin Nichols getting the basketball and taking 2 odd dribbles, spinning back the Hakeem shake, as it were, and draining a 15-foot shot over Newcastle's best defender. That's a really important play for Sheffield.
Well, it's cut the gap to 7, and Coach McLeod calling a timeout with 1:45 to go in this first half, and he talked about it. It's something you talk about a lot, the last couple of minutes, the end of quarters. Make sure you win those last few minutes, particularly in an aggregate situation.
Absolutely. If you can get an extra possession out of it, if you get an extra possession every quarter out of 8 quarters, and you've got 8 more chances to score, you have every prospect of winning. This will be a focus timeout, You know, we've worked very hard to get where we're at. Let's just come back in and make sure we run some good. We've probably got 3 possessions left in this half. Let's come back in and run some good stuff to get what we want and not give up anything cheap in transition or anything like that. It's been very much a half-court game, actually. Fast break points for Sheffield, 0. Fast break points for Newcastle, 0 at the moment. We've got a 0-0 draw.
But anything but on the scoreboard.
2 points on the pools panel.
I think you're showing your age there,
I am
Dave.
indeed. In the background.
Here comes Fletcher for Newcastle.
They're looking to get Fletcher coming off. Oh, Edwards going off on the other side.
Here is Edwards. Down the lane. Off the glass, top finish.
Again, tough scoring from Cortez Edwards. He is their extra piece, which kind of can take them over the edge.
Hemsley. On to Nichols. Martino. Down to 5 on the shot clock.
Struggling to get inside the 3-point line at the moment. Hemsley's pulling up and shooting that. And that's
it's bounced straight to Cook.
It's a great defensive possession by Newcastle, but the second shot is always the one that kills you. Good job by Jordan Retino in getting to the rim there. It's a frustrating non-rebound for Newcastle.
The defenses know that till you get the ball back, Sayers in his favourite spot, and he knocks down a 3.
That's a ridiculous pass by Fletcher. He knows that Sayers basically is 95% from that corner, and he hits him in the shooting pocket perfectly.
Hemsley driving
Great
hard.
defense there by Maxwell, getting where he needs to go. They're going to stop for 1 second. One shot. Yeah.
They already lead by 10, trying to stretch it with the final score of the first half. Fletcher penetrating, getting all the way to the rim.
Again, Ramon Fletcher making plays for his team.
Hemsley's going to kick it on to Campbell on the buzzer, off the back of the iron, and a good finish to that first half by the Newcastle Eagles. And this game has been pretty close for much of it, but as they head off to the locker rooms at half-time, the Eagles have pulled away to a 12-point advantage.
Yeah, kind of led by Fletcher. He's got 14 points and 4 assists, and really controlling the game. Sheffield, Kevin Nichols has 11 points in 12 minutes, and Jeremy Hemsley as well, 11 points, but he's gone a little bit colder recently, as Newcastle have been a bit more competitive on him. Sheffield have to play more defence. I think Atiba is going to be getting into them at half-time, saying, you can't be allowing these guys to shoot the percentages that they are shooting. Newcastle are 18 of 26 from inside, and 4 of 7 from the three-point line. They got splits of 66% from 2, 69% from 3, and 57% from the foul line. That's not sustainable for Sheffield.
As you say, 52 points. If Eagles get to 104, they will win the tie here today. The interesting thing watching the Eagles over the year is we've seen this play out before, where they've got 50 at halftime and 80 at the end of the game. So Sheffield will know that they've got within them the ability to reel the Eagles back in.
Well, they have to. They have to get to. They have to get to the point of the playing some defense. That's it. That's the reality. They have to stop somebody. At the moment, Defoe 11 points, 11 minutes. Gordon 13 points in 15 minutes. Fletcher 14 points in 16 minutes. They're not stopping these guys, and that's just unsustainable for them. They're capable of stopping these guys, but the playoffs are a slightly different beast and slightly different intensity. So I don't imagine Newcastle's intensity will drop to the degree that it has in previous games.
And I suppose the other thing is that it's not just that they've scored, it's they've scored in the way they want to score. Sheffield haven't made them go and do something they're not comfortable with.
Yeah,
yet.
I mean, if you said Newcastle would have 52 points at half time, they'd have no fast break points. We would say, give me a break, no chance. And so the fact that they've scored in the half court so comfortably is what will be troubling Sheffield. But there's a long way to go in this basketball game, and because Newcastle's defense is being so as well. It's picked up a little bit in the second quarter, but not great. So there's certainly opportunity there for Sheffield if they can string some stops together.
Well, we are at the half. It is 52 points to 40 in favour of the Newcastle Eagles. We're going to take a little pause, and we'll be back with you in a few minutes' time. Newcastle, where the Eagles lead the Sharks by 52 points to 40. There's only one team out there warming up. I feel Atiba Lions will be well in conversation with this team at the moment, and the reason is they are trailing by 12 to the Newcastle Eagles, and the veteran, the man with more BBL titles than anybody else, Darius Defoe, really got the Newcastles off to a good start.
Yeah, it wasn't with his normal trademark 15-footer. He's really being aggressive and going to the rim and creating contact and challenging Sheffield to defend him at the rim. Sometimes it's a little bit of an underestimated part of his game. That's a great drive there from the other side of the basket. That's 4 hard drives to his right, 8 points at the rim. That's why Atiba will be upset with this. You know, it's too easy. Darius can't be getting these shots too easy in the paint.
And one thing you know about Darius is he will come to play in big games like this, and so too will number 44 when he's on the court and there's a prize not too far in the distance. Ramon Fletcher certainly ready to play.
Yeah, his eyes kind of light up a little bit, and he came out early as well. He nailed a couple of tough jump shots, and you know Ramon is really in the mood when his jump shot is flowing, when he's looking to shoot his jump shot, because he can get to the rim on just about anybody in the league. But when he looks to step back and shoot his jump shot as well, that means he's looking to be offensively aggressive, and he becomes a very difficult cover. He's Newcastle's best three-point shooter. He's shooting 39% for the season, so it's every reason why he should shoot more.
It's one of those things that seems to have got better. I mean, you'll know him better than most. From when he first came into the league to now, he feels like he's a more proficient three-point shooter.
It does, but you know, the first year that we had him, I remember saying to the Fab probably 4 or 5 months of the season, he was our best shooter because of what we saw in practice. The problem was we had so much talent. He was so good at getting to the rim. He didn't look to shoot the ball that much. There was not much pressure on him. He could throw it to the guys we had like Scott Martin or Charles Smith, and everybody could get that stuff. So he was trying to fit in and be a point guard. But he looked at his numbers when he played in Holland. He was a 43% three-point shooter. You know, it was one of the things that attracted him, attracted us to him. And I think he has refined his skills. I think he's more athletic. I think he's in better shape. I think because he's so little and he doesn't play above the rim, people don't quite realise how athletic he is in getting up and some of the kind of the balletic layups that he's able to make. You know, when we did calisthenic tests last year, he came with the physios and the strength guys. He was our most athletic player.
Well, I mean, it's one of those things because everybody knows the scout report on Fletcher. Don't let him go left. Don't let him finish with his left hand. And as you say, he's not the biggest guy in the league, and yet he goes left and finishes with his left hand, and nobody stops it.
And it's because he takes off from so far away and he extends so far that, you know, it's almost a constant surprise to the guys who are guarding him that he's able to get that shot off. And the other thing is his touch with his left hand is phenomenal. His touch on putting the ball in the basket and actually scoring the ball is phenomenal, because they're not easy shots. But, you know, there are ways to defend him, and let's see if Sheffield can find a way of doing it in the second half.
Well, as you said at the top, he was the leading scorer and top in assists this year. Only the second time in BBL history that has happened, and the previous time was one of his predecessors up here in the northeast, Russ Saunders.
I think I was there to watch that as well.
Here's Defoe driving in, and well, that is not the start that the Atiba Lions will have wanted.
That's, you know, 5 shots that we've seen Defoe make from a combination of 5 feet. It's a good move by Darius and not settling for the jump shot though. Defoe fronting Coke in the post. Coke is starting for Sheffield to try and give him a bit more offensive pep, I think.
Here's Nichols.
This is Nichols playing outside of the offense, going one-on-one basically. That's tough. Good defense by Gordon.
Comes up with nothing. It's a 14-point lead here. Fletcher driving in. There is that trusty finish we were just talking about.
And that's just a ridiculous shot. The degree of difficulty on that shot is immense, yet he's managed to make it. And he makes it time and time again. So Defoe is really fighting with Coke down in the post. Sheffield are trying to really establish him.
Gets it back after Defoe knocked it loose.
Got a little bit fortunate there, I think. That was he made the play though. And Sheffield do need something out of him. He had 1 shot at half time. He needs more than that.
Here's Gordon going to work Gets the bounce off the iron.
Yeah, Newcastle living in the paint here. You know, those shots go in because they're from 4 feet and not from 15 feet. That's why they get the nice bounces.
36 points in the paint so far for the Eagles.
Again, looking to get down low at the Coke, and Defoe doing a great job of getting in front of the post.
Here's Edwards. Oh. Back out to Fletcher. Trying to thread the needle, and it's knocked away for an Eagles ball.
Yeah, Newcastle, a few times this year when Newcastle have got up, they've got a little bit lax with the basketball and started, you know, it's not showboating, but just trying to make passes which really weren't there. And I think both Edwards and Fletcher would probably want those ones back.
Well, they turn it over in the end. Here's Hemsley in transition to Lillard.
Nice pass by Helmsley. And again, you know, that's kind of bedeviled them this year, Newcastle. When they get up, putting the pedal to the metal and the hammer down in every other cliche I can think of.
And these are the games that you got to keep going.
Absolutely.
You know, 14 is good, 28 is better. Sayers all the way to the basket. He will get a chance for a bonus from the free throw line.
Yeah, that's a great move by Louis Sayers. He really hasn't. I don't know if he's improved his game this year, but he's certainly shown me something I didn't necessarily know he had when he was in the other at Cheshire last year, in his ability to finish at the rim. He's always been able to get to the rim because he's got good length, but his ability to finish with either hand has really been impressive. And obviously we know he can shoot.
And the gap is up to 17. This is not the start that the Sharks would have wanted coming out of the break.
Again, they're looking to get the ball to Coke, and Defoe's really fronting and doing a really good physical job down there. That's the battle in this game at the moment.
Here's Hemsley, late in the shot clock, swung round.
That's
Retino.
Great ball movement by Sheffield, but great defensive rebounding by Edwards to take that out of Coke's hands. Sheffield can't be upset with that offense though.
Gordon drives in, out to Sayers in the near corner.
His favourite corner.
Sheffield have numbers here. Retino drops it off to Nichols, who has to go underneath, but Hemsley there to clean it up.
Yeah, Newcastle have to get back down the court a little bit. You know, you got Gordon still in his still at the 3-point line at the other end, looking just a little bit tired there.
First fast break points of the game, that.
It's 2. Does that count as a fast break point if it was off an offensive rebound?
Good question. There are 2 on the board, so I just assumed.
I think maybe in the last one when they made the layup.
Yeah. Stolen away by Hemsley, and he will
Sheffield now
jam it in.
Sheffield now picking up the defense a little bit, and you see their energy picks up. And so the question is, can Newcastle withstand that? Because that's 3 turnovers now in 3 minutes.
Those definitely counts.
3 runouts, 3 layups. Oh dear.
And Edwards off the assist from Fletcher.
Oh dear, Fletcher just looked like they weren't there. Got to the middle and Edwards finishes with the dunk. Now Lillard's attacking.
As it knocked away, able to recover. Retino for 3.
Yep,
hits
good
it.
job. So again, Sheffield now getting into a bit of a rhythm as well. So we're getting to that shootout situation. Who's going to play defense first in this game to make the separation that matters?
Fletcher and Defoe working together. Over to Gordon. Space for the 3, and he knocks it down.
Justin Gordon has really shown a side to his game with that 3-point jump shot. It really opens up the floor for the rest of the Eagles team. But it's a defensive end where this game is going to be impacted the best.
Oh, 3 men around him, finds a way out. But
Great move by Cook, but he just got to finish. He didn't quite finish.
Sayers on his own. Circles back out.
As ever, find the ball to Fletcher.
Far corner Sayers. Off the mark. Retino.
Not his favourite corner, and Newcastle aren't getting back in transition, so Retino gets another lip. So that's 8 points in transition that Newcastle have given up off, tired players. And that's got to be concerning for Coach McLeod.
They still lead by 13 here, midway through period number 3 of this first leg matchup. Sayers again getting all the way into the rim. I thought he was going to jam it for a second there.
Good defense by Sheffield that time, though. They collapsed in the lane.
Lillard's kind of trapped. Throws it away.
Again, great defense by Defoe, staying in the passing lane, not overcommitting.
Fletcher going quick. Oh, it's not quite tipped in.
And they got another run out at this end.
And it's going to be an offensive foul as Defoe hits the deck.
I'm not sure. I think that Colt wasn't looking where he was going. I'm not sure how much contact there was there. Let's see. No, I think he probably stopped just before that. I think that might have been a bit of an acting job by Darius.
Well,
it was contact, but you know, there wasn't much contact.
I don't think he had much else he could do there, Defoe, but hope that the referee would give him a call.
That's right. But that said, you know, that's now 5 or 6 runouts that Sheffield have got, and that's the pattern that this game is taking. And if they didn't have those runouts, this game would be close to a blowout. So
here's Maxwell, just shooting over Cook.
yeah, they're dominating inside Newcastle, but as I say, with it being a 2-leg game, this is a really interesting sequence of the game now.
Here is Cook, and Fletcher is there to take the charge, and you can wave that one off.
Yeah, and he stood there, and he stood there. He got his feet outside the circle, and I thought that was a good call on first impression. Let's just see. Yeah, he's well there, and Cook's gone straight through him.
Cook's got about a foot on him as well, so
He's gone straight over him and through him. You love to see that, though. You love to see your point guard, you know, the smallest guy in the court, putting his body on the line in the playoffs to make a play. Ooh.
Edwards leaving Lewis behind. Gordon with the crossover, it's ripped away. Retino has it. Out to Lillard.
Slightly better job of getting back by Newcastle there. Matchup late one for Maxwell, though. They've got to get the ball to Retino with Maxwell on him.
It's over on the far side to Lillard. Morrison with the head fake, resets himself.
And you just can't.
Comes all the way out to Lillard, thinks about the three.
The lack of energy there from the Eagles. Maxwell got to grab that rebound, but I can't fathom why Sheffield wouldn't give the ball to Retino with Maxwell on them. But they're reaching there.
Gordon's going to take a break.
This is a key point for Newcastle, where the Sayers at the 4 now guarding Marsden, I think. Helmsley.
Nice friendly bounce off the ring there for the Sharks.
Shooter's touch for the shooter.
Still a 13-point deficit as far as they're concerned. Maxwell. Hands off to Edwards.
Eagles aren't getting any advantage here.
Edwards steps underneath. Gets his own rebound. Still can't score. Here's Sheffield in transition again.
The Eagles are late back again.
Get back and recover in the end. Lewis drives in. Lewis getting all the way to the rim.
Yeah, that was a good defensive possession actually from Newcastle. Forced Nick Lewis into a tough shot there at the rim.
Fletcher zips it across the Fluger. Trying to get it back. It's out to Fletcher for 3. Rebound Hemsley. Two to play here in the third. Coutinho, shot clock is very low. It's batted away. There's 2.1. And Coach Lyons is going to call a timeout here with 1:56 left in this third quarter.
I think that's a situational timeout to call a play with 2 seconds on the shot clock. Because there's nothing in the flow of the game which I think would make Coach Lyons want to kill it at the moment. I quite like the flow of the game for Sheffield. It'll be interesting as well to see whether the Eagles are able to get Edwards and Fletcher a break in the second half, because they're going to need them to finish this game strong, whatever the score is.
Well, those two guys have played the most minutes in the league this season in all competitions. And they just keep going, don't they? It really is impressive.
It's in little, I mean, their durability is incredible. But the little things that matter in playoff games are the cheap points you give up, and the cheap points you give up in transition when you maybe don't get back just as quick as you can, just because you're lagging just a little bit. And the issue is with those guys, are they, if Fletcher and Edwards are going to keep going to the basket, they play energetic basketball, are they going to continue to be able to keep it up at the defensive end as well?
Two teams making their way back towards the court. It'll be a Sheffield ball from the end with 2.1 on the shot clock.
This is probably Newcastle's least athletic lineup if you look at it with Defoe and Gordon and Alaska and Edenick all on the bench. So they'll need to play some solid defense. Won't be able to be bailed out by their athleticism. Nick Lewis is shooting it. Yeah, good defense.
Shoot, misses everything.
I think Cortez Edwards maybe got a piece of that.
Well, it fell a long way short. Here's Fletcher for the Eagles.
Little screener roll to Edwards.
Sayers steps back behind the arc, off the mark. Maxwell trying to keep it alive. Eagles do get it back, and Maxwell again on the offensive glass.
Good job by Maxwell. Edwards would look to finish that, but I don't know if he's maybe a little bit tired. Missed two dimmies there.
Here's Fletcher trying to split through the defense. Shot clock about to expire. Edwards' shot is blocked, but Sharks have it, so they can play. Lewis calls for the screen. Cross to Ratino. He gets all the way to the basket and is able to lay it in.
Nice move by John Ratino. He used the fact that the defender was running out at him to his advantage and curled his way at the basket.
Spin from Edwards and the pretty finish.
And that's just as nice move by Cortez Edwards as well, because Sheffield aren't that big either. They have Rob Marsden not playing the 5, so Newcastle are looking at attacking the rim if they can. 2 for 1 for Sheffield, probably gone.
Yeah, well, I was just thinking Newcastle did that with Edwards going quickly. Gave them a chance to come back with the last shot.
Yeah, great touch there by Helmsley getting to his spot.
Newcastle will get the final shot of this third quarter. They've stretched their lead slightly in this period. Can they stretch it further? Fletcher's shot doesn't go. It's batted out. Sayers from the halfway line. And he turned away.
Yeah, I just see a little bit of fatigue creeping into Newcastle with their guards. Fluger looks hurt again. A little bit of fatigue with Newcastle's guards, and probably need... It's difficult for them to play, I think, without Gordon there, because the extra athleticism that Gordon gives them can often bail them out on offense and defense.
Well, there are still 10 minutes to play in this first leg, an important 10 minutes in the shape of the tie. If Newcastle, at worst, finish level at the end of this quarter and take a double-figure lead to the second leg at Worcester, they'll feel very comfortable. If Sheffield can make a run at them here in the fourth, cut it down, they'll feel like they've got the momentum going into the second time.
Absolutely, and the fact that it's a neutral second leg venue will, I think, encourage Newcastle as well. It's not like you're going into the Sheffield Arena to play there. There's some signs for Sheffield though. I like the fact they're getting out off their defense and running. I like the fact that Helmsley is getting into rhythm. He has 19 points on 9 of 12 shooting at the moment. They've done a slightly better job in slowing down Newcastle in that quarter. They held them to 18 points. And some of the shots that they did make were tough ones. And Newcastle a little bit tired, I think. A little bit tired in some of the shots. They had open shots that they weren't missing at the beginning of the game, and now some of the open threes aren't going down. So it's trending towards Sheffield, but whether it's trending towards them enough to make up 11 points is another thing, you know. So you got Lasker coming in now, and it looks like Edwards is taking a break.
No, there's only 4 Eagles out there.
Here comes Fletcher's going out, yeah. I was a little bit surprised Gordon's not back in the game. Gordon and Defoe, actually, because they've both been game changers in this game, and every possession's worth the same as the other. You know?
Indeed. Here's Lewis.
Lasseter's got the job of defending Lewis.
Coutinho. Shot clock must be.
Oh, great hands by Fletcher.
Oh, but he stepped out of court.
That's tough. Great hands by Fletcher, great defense.
Well, Sheffield, because they get the ball in the front court, will only have 14 seconds to work with. Lewis to Cook. Trying to use his size.
That's a mismatch because they've gone now with Cook and Marsden, and somehow Sayers ended up on Cook, and I think that's probably why you're looking at Defoe and Gordon to get them back in the game.
Poked away by Lillard. Remains the Newcastle ball. Here comes Gordon. Alaska to inbound for the Eagles. Oh, it's thrown away. Ratino has it. Lewis is ahead of him. It's Cook to Marsden, to the spin. Trying to find some room and finding a foul.
Yeah, good stuff by Sheffield. It's kind of following the pattern of the games that they've played here before this season, whereby they're just beginning to wear Newcastle down defensively and get out and run a little bit.
Well, they're just chipping away. Chance to take another 2 points out of this Newcastle advantage, but not taken on the first by Marsden.
Now, Pfluger doesn't look healthy, doesn't look right to me. I'm not sure how much longer he's going to be in the game. He looks like he's hurting.
Marsden makes the second. 8 points separate the teams. Ooh. Lewis was pleading with the referee that came off Fletcher. But the referee, who was right on the spot, pointing Newcastle's way.
Fletcher on the little Iverson cut.
Fletcher has a mismatch
He's got
here.
a mismatch on him, he's going to the rim. That's great help by Lillard.
And that will be a Sheffield ball.
Yeah, it's great help by Lillard because he recognised the mismatch. And you see, whereas in the first half, Fletcher might have stepped out back and shot that ball. He's looking to aggressively attack. But Lillard does nothing wrong there, and he's there, and it's a turnover. So now we've got Edwards and Sayers back in the game.
Oh, dropped down by Lillard. Edwards is able to come away with it. Edwards looking to take it inside, kicks out to Gordon, he checks his feet, fires up the three.
Never normally want to check your feet, do you, Dan?
No, just shoot it and work out how much it's worth after it's gone in.
Absolutely.
Cook loses it, gets it back and puts it in.
I'm afraid. Yeah, Maxwell's struggling to guard Cook the way that Defoe was, and I think McLeod's just pointed at Defoe there, so it's time for you now.
Defoe's taking his warm-up top off. He will be on momentarily. Gordon gets into the paint but leaves it short. Maxwell trying to come up with the rebound, but the Sharks have it. Lewis kicks it forward to Cook, who finishes well, and suddenly the Sharks have cut this one right back down. 2 minutes have gone in the fourth quarter, but a great start to the fourth quarter by Atiba Lyons and his team.
Yeah, Sheffield gave up 52 points in the first 20 minutes, and they've given up 18 points in the last 12 minutes, and that's the difference in the basketball game. What's helped them a lot is that they've been able to get out and run as a result. This is another opportunity. This is another basically a fast break basket whereby Newcastle's transition defence has been inadequate in the second half, and probably 7 or 8 now times Sheffield have got to the rim, and easy points in playoff basketball is gold dust, you know.
Well, they've got the first 7 here of the fourth quarter, Sheffield, and that is how they've got themselves back to only 4 points in arrears.
Well, you know, we look at this, we've got Newcastle still fast break, 0.0. Sheffield have been given 6, but I think they're probably at 8 or 10 if we include the last couple.
Well, they've just ticked up to 8 according to the official stats on that last one.
They're all in the second half, you know.
Yeah. And there have been a couple more that have been very close to fast break, if not officially a fast break.
Yeah.
Well, we've seen the response from Sheffield. What now? The response from Newcastle, that their lead is down to only 4.
I think I'll run something for Defoe in the post this time down. Get him the basketball and be aggressive.
There's Gordon down in the low block. And his hook is off the mark.
Yeah, you just get a little bit anxious now the ball's not dropping as much now. Sheffield have picked up the defence, so can Newcastle match it with their own defence? That's what matters.
Lillard cutting to the basket, so too Retino takes it hard and finishes well.
Great job by Retino then. Not much pressure on the basketball, that allows him to make the back cut.
9-0 to the Sharks here in the fourth. It's a 2-point game. Here's Fletcher, big shot for 3, they need this, it's off the mark. Edwards trying to get the offensive rebound, but now Sheffield can level the game. They trail by as many as 17.
Newcastle scoreless in the first 3 minutes of this quarter, and that's an open 3
for the lead.
Retino.
It's off the mark.
It's a good look as well, though. It's the Tiber Lions won't be disappointed with that. And the speed's gone out of Newcastle's game a little bit. Oh, that's a foul. Probably 2 fouls.
Gordon driving hard. I think it was Marsden that got him first. Cook was there as well. It is 30 that's shown to the table.
It's a good hard drive by Justin Gordon.
Well, 3 minutes and 20 seconds have elapsed in this quarter. 9 points have been scored. Newcastle looking for their first.
It's interesting that Sheffield have gone on this run without Helmsley on the court, with Nick Lewis actually on the point, and the balls move very, very well, but more importantly, they've got some points in the paint.
Gordon ends that dry spell.
I don't know, we're back to the Tuck and Defoe matchup. You know, Rob Marsden has got a cracking black eye.
I know, you can see that.
I wouldn't want to meet him on a dark night.
No. We're up on the balcony and it's very clearly visible from here.
Good hands by,
deflected by Edwards, but onto
Retino.
Retino and out of bounds.
Yeah. It's Edwards being in the passing. Last time he got a little bit too far in there and they were able to throw it back door, but this time he just calibrated himself right, just got his hand in there, and a little deflection makes a difference. Into Gordon on Marsden again. They like this matchup, but Gordon doesn't like this matchup, so he's throwing it back to Fletcher.
Here's Fletcher around to Edwards, stumbling through the lane, somehow keeps the ball. Gordon for 3, back iron. Lillard rises up for it.
You know, I don't think Sheffield would be disappointed with that shot. You know, it was out of control. Edwards was out of control, and yeah, Defoe just grabbed Tuck as he slipped the screen there.
Third personal foul on Defoe.
If we ever had a single cam, we want to watch those two. Just put a camera on those two all game. That would be really entertaining. Well, I don't know if it'd be entertaining, but it'd be interesting.
Lewis takes the 3.
Oh, it's a tough shot for Nick Lewis.
Although he does make tough shots. Fletcher, to say, is on the trail, trying to tip it in himself, but missing.
Yeah, he's got to be a little more composed there and just go. He can't kind of threw that up hoping to be fouled. You know, that's a hook.
Lillard gets all the way through, and it's good for 2.
I thought he got away with a little hook there on his with his right hand as he went to his left.
Well, he's talking to the referee. He obviously had a different view of that. Newcastle, as we approach the midpoint of the fourth quarter, still have not put the ball in the basket from open play. Just 2 free throws in this period. Defoe trying to do something about that, but it doesn't drop for him. He will get 2 free throws, though.
It's a great move, though, by Darius. And that's kind of what I said about 3 or 4 minutes ago. You know, you give the ball to Defoe down in the post because at least you know you're going to get something going to the rim. And he'd probably be disappointed he didn't make that, but he gets to the line as well, so... You know, I think Newcastle would probably benefit from going through Defoe a little bit more.
Well, the free throw is short.
Playoffs do funny things to players.
Makes the second. 3-point Eagles lead. Just over 5 to play here in the first leg. Marsden.
Helmsley still on the bench for Sheffield.
Tough. Hands over to Lewis to tie it.
Yeah,
Nicholas Lewis from behind the arc levels the game at 73.
Yeah, I think Edwards got a little bit tired there. He didn't recognise the scouting report.
Fletcher rims out, and here comes Sheffield in transition, looking for their first lead since the early stages.
This lineup's really worked well for Sheffield. The aggression and the challenging at the rim of Tuck and Marsden. It's kind of that blue collar lineup.
Fletcher called for the foul.
Teams just have to remain composed at this point. It's a tie game. They've got 44 minutes to play. You know, they've got to be...
Here's Lewis. Thought about another one.
Newcastle in a 1-3 in a zone, maybe?
Lewis is stuck.
Good defense.
Defoe steals it away. Ooh, just got that away in time. Sayers is blocked by Lewis. He wants a foul. But play on, says the official.
Newcastle not getting back.
Lillard taking it hard and putting the Sharks in the lead with 4:07 to go.
Yeah, Sayers expecting a call at the other end there. But at the moment, the game has gone from Newcastle being the aggressors in the first half to Sheffield being the aggressors in the second half. So let's just have a look at this. No, I think maybe Lewis got the ball. I'm not sure it was a foul. Got to go up stronger than that. And that probably was a foul there, but he let it go. And great finish by Lillard going to his left, which is where he's strong.
Well, what a fourth quarter this has been for the Sheffield Sharks. They've outscored the Eagles 16 points to 3 in 6 minutes. The Eagles still have not made a field goal here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and a little bit of it is Sheffield's defense, a little bit of it is fatigue, but the momentum started to change in the third quarter when Sheffield started getting out in 2-on-1 and 3-on-1 fast breaks. That gives the team sees the ball going through the basket, they feel good about themselves, they put a little bit more in on their defense, and you've seen basically a dragging back of the game, and then Newcastle have got a little bit tight. And this is still 4 minutes. As I say, this is... There's going to be a few more twists in this game in both these legs before we decide who's going to go through. Just at this moment in time, unlike about 20 minutes ago, it's Sheffield with the momentum.
Well, it certainly is Sheffield with the momentum, and it's Sheffield with the lead as well. As the teams are back out on court, and
as I say, I think, try and maybe run through Defoe.
It's Fletcher who gives it to Defoe. Back to the point guard. Edwards trying to get past Lillard. There is no room. That's great defense. And Sheffield get it back.
There's no advantage there for Newcastle. That was Lillard really guarding on Edwards extremely well.
Marsden over to Lillard, fakes the three, and he's kind of trapped, and he's stepped on the line.
That's fantastic help defense by Fletcher, because Sayers took away the shot, made him go baseline, and he trusted his teammate to be there, and his teammate was there. So if you can get those mismatches whereby you've got two guys on one, you get a good double team with the sideline helping you, that's when you can force turnovers. Here's
Fletcher Trying to find some way through, comes back, and finally it's taken 7 minutes for Newcastle to have the ball in the basket here in the fourth quarter.
It wasn't an easy move either. It was a fantastic move by Ramon Fletcher. Post move by a point guard.
Oh, nice from Lewis, but he's denied by Gordon at the rim.
Yeah, you love that by Gordon because he's basically come all the way out to defend on the screen, and then he's tracked the ball all the way back, and met Nick Lewis at the rim there. Didn't get the ball as high as the rim, but he's met him at the shot attempt.
Well, now with 3 minutes to go, Steve Lyons turns to his leading scorer. Hemsley into the
he's
game.
going to get an open shot as well. Ooh.
He's going to take it inside and get fouled instead, and he will get a chance to add to his 19-point total.
He doesn't miss by that much normally, Helmsley, so one assumes he was fouled. Let's have a look. Yeah, Defoe hits him after the shot, I think. I'm not sure if his feet had actually landed by the time he... No, that's a foul.
It's a definite foul.
Yeah, it's a foul. And he's in the air, so it's 2 shots. And actually, for efficient as shooter as he is, he's only in the 60s for the from foul shots. Foul shooting percentage.
Hey, you me down. Hey, what's the matter?
And he's missed them both, and it's tipped off the ring.
Yeah, good job by Gordon.
So we're still level at 75. Here's Defoe driving down the lane. Tuck hits the deck.
Good, Darius, good attacking move to the rim. The best stuff Newcastle have got in this fourth quarter has been Fletcher and Defoe attacking the rim. Now Defoe's out there defending Tuck.
Rotino with space for 3. Rims out.
Eagles got lucky. Sayers got caught on screens. You can't be giving that shot up to Rotino at this point in the game.
2 minutes to play. Eagles with a 2-point advantage. Shot clock getting low. Edwards has it. Defoe bobbles it, fires up, misses. Mawson diving on the floor for the rebound.
Mawson's done a great job in the second half of fighting under the basket and getting loose balls. Really helped his team come back into it. He's an unsung hero of this game for Sheffield.
Here he is at the offensive end, trying to feed it to Tuck, cutting to the basket. Defoe in the way.
What they've lost in spacing at this end, they've gained in defensive intensity at that end. And through Rob Marsden.
Good recovery in the end from Defoe. 8 on the shot clock for the Sharks. Lobbed back to Tuck. Here's Hemsley. Hemsley off the glass, levels the game.
Yeah, I think Fletcher said to Gordon, why are you coming for that? There's 1 second to go on the shot clock, you know.
Hemsley, Gordon inside, misses.
Yeah, it was a good bit of defense, a little bit of mind trick there by Sheffield. They didn't guard Gordon and he wasn't quite sure what to do. He shot a shot out of rhythm. Now who can get a stop?
Patino driving
defense by
baseline,
Defoe.
offensive foul, the call.
Yeah.
And Darius Defoe
That's great defense by
takes
Defoe.
the charge. Tuck just pointing to the no charge circle. I'm not sure he'd taken off, so it doesn't come into play if he's not off the ground. That would be the thing. And if he was inside it.
I think he was outside it. I think he got his feet outside it. We'd have to check. Obviously, if you have your foot on the line, you count as outside it or inside it, Dan?
Well, either way, it's an Eagles ball.
1 minute to go, so there's potentially 4 possessions left here. Newcastle probably want to take a shot at about 35, 36 to try and get a 2 for 1. Not go too early.
Here's Edwards to Fletcher. Fletcher to Defoe. Defoe underneath. Tuck has his hand up to admit to that foul.
You know, as long as this game's being played, all the players that we have in this league, and Newcastle need a basket, it's still Fletcher to Defoe.
Team Alliance going to call a timeout here. The interesting question, I suppose, is that we're going to come back with 2 free throws. There's 43.4 seconds to go in this game. If Sheffield go quick enough, they'll get themselves potentially two possessions.
Absolutely.
Or do they just say, well, we'll have one each, try and score and try and stop them?
No, 2 for 1. There's no team in this league that can't get a good shot in 18 seconds. To be fair, they'd have to get it off by about the 30, so 13 seconds. They must have an opportunity. They must have a play. 2 half-decent shots as opposed to 1 great shot, which you're not guaranteed to get if you run 24 seconds anyway. It's far better. The numbers are in your favour. So if you're Newcastle, maybe you throw out maybe a 2-2-1 press to try and slow them down or something like that to try and prevent that happening. You don't want to lose sight of a shooter though in the corner.
Because the other thing he could have done is he could have waited to the free throws to call the timeout, which would have given him an opportunity to advance the ball. But we've seen the 5-second call so many times this season, and Sheffield have had it against them as well.
Well, they've both got 1 timeout left in which, to advance the ball at the end if there's like 3 or 4 seconds on the clock. So I think it's a smart-ish move because it allows, we talked about it yesterday with Karen Ross missed 2 out of 3 foul shots.
Yeah.
So it takes the shooter out of rhythm a little bit and makes him come back on the court a couple of minutes later. But if you are Sheffield, you really do want to be getting a shot up by like the 30-second mark if you can.
Well, Defoe is 2 of 4 from the line today.
Probably only second. I'm thinking only second to Kieran the Charter in kind of free throw shooting big guys. That's probably jinxed him, but no.
No, he makes them both. Newcastle do look to come up court a little bit.
A little bit of pressure.
Not enough really to take them out of their rhythm.
Sheffield are taking a while to get set up, I'm afraid, so they're just looking for a good shot here by the looks of it.
Here's Hemsley. Out to Marsden, puts it on the floor, running in.
You live with that you live with that if you're Newcastle. That's perfect defense. You've got Defoe blocking off the rim. Now you've got basically a 2-point win with the opportunity to take it to 4 or 5 if they can make a shot on the buzzer.
Big defensive play this for Sheffield. Here's Fletcher driving into that trusty left hand, misses everything. Marsden with the rebound. Can Lewis heave one on the buzzer? Oh, it was close. I don't know if he got it off in time, but it was very close. And well, we said right at the top of the show, 4v5 is usually the closest matchup of them all, and it's certainly very much in the balance going into the second leg. Just 1 basket between them.
Yeah, Sheffield's body language is better than Newcastle's walking off, and that's a momentum thing because Newcastle have been up 17. But actually, if I'm Newcastle, I'm actually kind of happy to get out of there because the run that was going on in the 4th quarter had the opportunity to blow the game open and get it out to like 8-10 points. And so Sheffield didn't quite take advantage of that momentum. Maybe it took them a lot of energy to get back in. So I'm not disappointed if I'm Newcastle now, having, you win the game, so you're 2 points up.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those weird things where, because it's an aggregate, if this was a regular game, Newcastle would be celebrating having won, but what they're looking at is we've lost that 4th quarter 18 points to 9, and we could have had a much better advantage to take to Worcester.
Well, they scored 27 points in the second half and 52 in the first half, so again, is that fatigue? Is that Sheffield played harder in the second half? Is that Newcastle stopped executing in the second half? These are things they have to look at. The other thing which kind of makes it a little bit of a false situation is that this is Newcastle's home court. So Sheffield are thinking we're doing all right coming off Newcastle's home court, but they don't get to go home. Such are the vagaries of this playoff situation. They have to go to Worcester. Both teams go to Worcester now. It's really interesting. I thought what was interesting for Sheffield was the lineup that they went to. Kipper Nichols didn't play in the 4th quarter when that run was on. Rob Marsden came in and played absolutely critical minutes.
He certainly did. Well, let's hear from somebody who also played some critical minutes in this ball game. Justin Gordon of the Newcastle Eagles with us. Justin, how do you assess the situation in this game? You've obviously won by 2, but you had a bigger lead going into that 4th quarter.
We just let them come back a little bit. They turned on the intensity, and and we allowed them to get easy looks. And most importantly, they got 50-50 balls, loose balls that hit the floor. We just got to get on those and end those possessions. And those are the things that can keep us with the lead that we had.
And in that fourth quarter, you guys struggled to put the ball in the basket for the first 5 or 6 minutes. The only things you were getting were free throws. Was that a little bit of fatigue down the stretch?
No, we're just not, ball fall in, ball fall out sometimes, We got good looks. I got good looks personally, and things I should have converted on easily, made quicker decisions. Some things that we can carry on, take that to the next game.
And in some ways, it takes the aggregate almost out of the situation. You just know, go down to Worcester, win that game. You don't have to think too much about the maths.
Right, yeah, winners win. That's all we got to do. Go down there and take care of business.
Well, thanks for talking to us. Good luck in the second leg.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, he was really good for them, particularly in the first half as they built up that lead. And there is something to be said about, don't worry about the 2 points here, just go and win the game in the second leg.
Yeah, I prefer to have 10.
Indeed, yeah.
There is something to be said about that. But, second legs, from my experience, players just play hard, and then you look at the score with 3 minutes to go, and if there's any maths to be done, they're all looking at the coach with 3 minutes to go saying, what's the score? The only time that you're really happy for those extra points you've got, or when you're in the last minute or the last 2 minutes and you know that they're going to beat you by 3 and it's a 1 point game. I don't think it changes the way players look at the game, and their mentality is always to win both teams. So we'll see.
Well, let's see what Coach McLeod thinks of the situation. Coach, 2 point game. How do you assess that, given the lead that you had in this ball game?
We were 15 up at half time, but realistically it could have been 20. I think last 4 seconds of the shot clock. In particular, they made some baskets in the first half, which we wanted to reduce. If you take it as just where we were, okay, yeah, we've let a lead slip there, but we've won the game, and I'd taken that before the game.
And Darius Defoe, it's such an excellent performer in the big game. We saw it again tonight.
Yeah, and probably the decision vindicated to rest him last week, the last regular season game of the season. He's come in there, he's looking like he's only 35 years old. But no, he was excellent tonight. I was really happy with how our leaders led, and Darius is obviously one of those in particular, closing out quarters. I think maybe the third wasn't great, but the other three, I was really happy with what we did in those final moments there.
And that fourth quarter where you struggled a bit to put the ball in the basket, where do you think it went wrong?
I think I probably just need to rotate a little bit earlier, keep guys a little bit fresh. On one hand, you're talking about there's only a handful of games left maximum in the season, but on the other hand, you still got to keep guys fresh. So I think our energy levels dropped a little bit. There's a few times I was looking to break the game with a timeout, and we actually forced Sheffield to call a timeout. So it was a lot of, it ebbed and flowed a lot. But I think just staying sharp and keeping the energy levels up was the key there.
Well, thanks for that. We'll see you down in Worcester. Good luck with that.
Thank you very much.
Well, he's fairly pragmatic about the situation. Obviously, it'll like the bigger lead, but you still won the game. That is an important step.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? We talk about a game, but there's actually 2 games. It's not a game, it's half a game. So they won a half a game, and now they've got to go down and win the other half of the game. They've got to prepare for it, and they've got to make the appropriate adjustments. So I'm sure both teams will go back and look at the tape and see what they did and see well and what they didn't do. It'll be interesting to see which of the guys who weren't on the court at the end, particularly for Sheffield, particularly Kipper Nichols, whether they come back and really impact the game in the second leg.
But that lineup, you can see why Atiba wrote it. They were doing so well with Marsden.
We're getting stops.
Yeah,
we're getting stops. The playoffs come down to getting stops, and they were stopping the basketball going in the basket. And at times, as I say, I think that's when you have to be really smart as an offensive team. You've really got to look, where is my matchup advantage? Where can I go to get a basket? And I think it was probably only Fletcher and Defoe who scored for Newcastle in the fourth quarter. I don't think anybody else did.
And it's almost a story of the season. Sheffield have been very good at that. We've seen a lot of them second half, just clawing teams back when they've got down early.
Yeah, they bend but they don't break. That's the bottom line. They bend a lot, and today they were at the beginning of the second quarter, the third quarter, the Newcastle were up 16, and they were bending a lot, but they don't break. And that's, if you've scouted Sheffield, that's what you know will happen. So I don't think it's any surprise to anybody, and I think it probably vindicates what we were saying before the game, that this game wasn't going to be decided today.
Well, let's hear from the Sheffield coach, Atiba Lyons. Atiba, a game that you've lost, but the way that you finished, the way that you played, particularly in the second half and the fourth quarter, you must take a lot out of that going into the second leg.
Yeah, absolutely. I think definitely not how we wanted to start the game. Newcastle did a good job kind of knocking us out of our rhythm, and I think we just overthinking, which sometimes, caused a lot of hampering on offense. And that second half, we just kind of played more of our game and just made some great plays from the guys. I can't take credit. They did some great individual things out there.
And 50 points Newcastle put up in the first half. You kept them under 30 in the second half. And that lineup you had out there with Marsden, and you were getting out in transition, you were giving nothing up to Newcastle, and you just kept riding it. They were doing so well for you.
Yeah, we made some slight adjustments at halftime, and that group right there kind of just was hit the floor running and really made some great plays. They did things that we trained in week, but we just didn't have consistency. So they showed a lot of consistency and some tremendous fight and heart.
And really, it just comes down to who wins the next game. One basket almost takes the maths out of it.
Yeah, we're happy to be in the shout. It could have been a lot really ugly for us. To have this chance right now against a very talented Newcastle team after how we played that first half, we can't ask for more.
Well, we'll see you down in Worcester. Good luck with that one.
Thanks a lot.
Well, yeah, he does seem pretty pleased to be in that position, given the 17-point hole that they were in. We saw with Cheshire yesterday, they were in a 17-point hole. They pulled it back, but a couple of late plays cost them. Sheffield were able to, once they got back into the game, stay with it and get themselves in a good position.
Yeah, nothing we haven't seen from both teams all season. It's basically been the story of their seasons. Sheffield, Newcastle is a team with a lot of ability to put points up, and a mercurial team, the ability to score the ball a lot. And Sheffield, a team that is just very, very dogged and does not quit. And as I say, it bends but it doesn't break.
Well, that is the third of the 4 quarterfinals in the books, and it's very much in the balance. We still have one more coming up for you this evening, as the Plymouth Raiders, who are unbeaten against the Worcester Wolves all season, go head-to-head, 3 against 6, that matchup. That starts at 7:23, so we'll be with you in about 40 minutes' time. Join myself and Dave for that. We will see you very shortly. Goodbye.
Gotta keep the flame on max. I'ma keep it going till there ain't nothing left. Going till there ain't nothing. Keep the flame on max. I'ma keep it going till there ain't nothing left.